Alright, so welcome back to the channel. This is After Hours with Anton Daniels. He's an interesting figure. I started watching a few of his videos and he's interesting. He's like a successful black man, you know. Of course, everyone wants to be successful, and if you're black, you know, it's a little bit harder to get there, but you know, everyone can do it realistically. It just depends on your circumstances and the hands you were dealt and how much drive you have, how much ambition. But this video is about young women. He's asking young women he says it says young women should marry older men unless raised in a stable family. At Six the Goddess. So Six the Goddess is this beautiful black woman right here. She's beautiful. Look at her. Um and yeah, this is after hours, so I guess it's at nighttime or whatever, or after his regular program show or whatever that he does on YouTube. I want to see what he's talking about, because young women should marry older men. Is that really the route that we're trying to go? I think financially marrying an older man, like for women in general, marrying an older man is better for them financially, but mentally, or like I'm not too sure, because like realistically, a lot of people would think that you want to marry, you want to be with someone and marry with someone who's around your age or close to your age. So if you're 22 or 25, you want to be with someone who's 25, 26 at most, maybe a year or two older, but like maybe that's it. You don't want to be 21 marrying some guy who's like 40. That's But maybe 30 is not too bad, but you know, it all depends. I want to see what they're saying in this, and then I'm gonna go for that. But honestly, it really doesn't matter. But you know, society is gonna look at you weird if you're like 20 and you're marrying someone who's 40. Feel me? But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Like, I really don't care. But
Gonna be fun. All right. So these are the questions that I'm hearing every single day, or not even the questions. These are the conversations that I'm hearing regularly, in all of these forums and everything like that. Right. So the term that I often hear that has been popularized in our society is six figures. Oh, he got to make six figures, which is weird to me because that's a pretty wide range. Whether you're making $900,000 a year or you're making $100,000 a year, that's a
yeah,
pretty wide range,
Right.
right?
Right.
But I'd be naive and being really not truthful if I didn't say money matters. Money matters a lot.
it
Like it
does.
matters a whole lot, especially when
It does. A lot of females will tell you that it don't. It does. Guys will never tell you that it doesn't matter. If you want to know the truth, like ask a guy if money matters. A guy will never ever. There's not one guy that I I don't think any guy would tell you money doesn't matter. A guy who's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, all the way up to 30s, 40s, 50s. I think every single guy would tell you money matters. Whereas females, I think most females will tell you that it doesn't matter. But they cap, because most females want a guy who's well off or who's financially stable or who can take care of her. So she's a big capper, big capper. You feel me?
you consider a guy as a provider and protector, right? My ability to
Most guys don't make over six figures until they're around like 30 years old or even older, 40. So some guys don't even make six figures at 40. Some guys don't even make six figures their whole entire lives. So you know, you really gotta it's interesting.
provide and protect, send my daughter to college, my wife live in a certain neighborhood, she don't have to worry about certain things, she can truly focus on being a certain type of woman, right? Or the best version of herself, or really finding her purpose, which closely aligns with adding value to my life, because she don't have to worry about those day-to-day things that maybe some other people may have, right? So when it comes to money, right, especially men providing, is there a, when you get to know a guy, right, or a guy approaches you or whatever, at what point does a woman bring up the conversation about what he does for a living? Is there like a stand?
That's probably like the first thing, or it comes up real soon. It comes up real soon. That's probably one of the first things that they're looking at, and if they don't see it, they're gonna ask you. On dating profiles, a lot of times it has your occupation already there, so females aren't even gonna ask. They're just gonna look at that and know what you do. You feel me? But yeah.
Standard, or do you just fill it out, or how does that go? what's the mindset behind considering a person or taking a person serious as it relates to, a mate or a partnership?
If you gotta ask him what he do, he ain't doing nothing.
I mean, facts, low key. Honestly, if you're busy, she's gonna know you're busy. You feel me? If you're doing shit, she gonna know you're doing shit. You probably gonna tell her like, I'm working right now. Like we can't do it. Like I'm working. So like, cause she gonna ask to hang out. She gonna ask this, that, and like, you gonna not have the time because you working, at your regular job, or you working on your hobby or your side or whatever. So if what she's saying is low key facts, cause it's like, if you have to ask him, then yeah.
If you gotta ask them, he ain't doing nothing. Cause once men do something, they gonna tell you. Or they gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you off rip very early and let you know what they working with. If dates and time has went by and you still don't know what he do, he ain't doing nothing.
That's facts. That's facts.
Men that are producing kids.
Cause like I work in IT. If I'm gonna be like, I don't start off saying like, oh, I work in IT, like, oh, I do this, that, that. But like, as she gets to know me, if she asking for like to hang out at certain times, like 9 to 5 during a Monday to Friday, I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm working right now. You gotta choose another time. We can hang out later, but like I'm busy. So you gonna know that I'm working. You gonna know that I'll be working, and then I'll be working on this YouTube shit, and I'll be working on other shit too. So, and I work during the weekends sometimes. So you feel me? You gonna know that I'm busy a lot. So you're gonna have to work with this schedule. You feel me?
Wait to tell you the stuff they're doing. They cannot wait.
They can't wait.
It'll be the first
Yeah, I
date.
do talk that talk. You know
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I talk that
I
talk.
already see your light flexes here, and they give me light. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
And
talk
you
that talk.
catch the light flexes in there. So
Yeah, light
Yeah.
flexes, light flexes.
if you don't have a clue, then guess what, baby? He ain't doing
He ain't doing
anything.
shit.
Do you
Don't
think
even. A
that
woman should never ask a man what he does for a living.
do you
Ever.
think that
Ever.
younger women, so let's just say women that are 21, 22
That's
years old,
facts. He gonna tell
do
you.
you think that they should be concerned about what a man does for a living, or should they date
Yes.
based off of projection, right?
Yeah, because a guy would be concerned what a girl does for her living. So of course, vice versa, it makes sense.
Like how does younger women, because in my experience, I remember even in high school, I remember the older guys, and I'm talking about guys that was outside of high school. I had no problem with women in high school. However, I still do remember a lot of the girls only wanted to talk to dudes that wasn't in school. They already had a car. You know what I'm saying? They was pulling back up to the high school to pick up the chicks and all of that other type of stuff, right? How should women that's in that new space, right? They're still young. They're 21, 22. They're still wet behind the ears. They don't even know what life is going to be like yet, to be honest with you, right? How should they look at dating, or how should they look at the type of men that they're entertaining?
She has to decide what she wants to do. Um, if a woman is 21 and she's going to marry a boy that's also 21, I would say that would be unwise unless they have a strong family support system on at least one side.
Yeah, I heard you
Two,
say that before. I have heard you say
yeah,
that before.
two 21-year-olds lost getting together is a disaster. Probably give it 3 to 4 years max. I think that 21-year-old women have to decide. You're either going to get with a man that's your age, and if you do, then yes, you're going to have to get that based upon projections, because most men at 21 are broke. They don't have anything yet. They haven't got their feet wet. So yes, if she's dating at 21, she's either going to, one, get with a man her age, and yes, she will have to base it on projection. Now, or she has the option to get an older man. I would recommend if a girl's going to be wanting to be married at 21 and financially stability is important to her, that she get with a man that's
Facts, you gonna have to go with someone older because 21, they're not gonna like even if they was working since they was 18 or even 16, 16, I mean, what are you really making? Like, you're not gonna be making no big money unless you already like a star or you famous or something. Like 16, most niggas is not making no huge type of money. Of course, you got the variables here and there, but like, yeah, 21-year-old is not gonna have a lot on average. You feel me? Most, of course, there's exceptional people out there who are just got lucky or they was grinding for real. But like most niggas at 21, it's not gonna have much. So you're gonna have to go older if you want to get married and be financially stable at 21. You're gonna have to go with someone who's 2, 3, maybe even 4 years older than you. Someone who's like 24, 25, maybe even 26. If you want to be financially stable.
It's around 35.
Okay, yeah, I
But
was gonna ask you
She
what do you
said
feel?
35. 21, you gonna have to go with someone who's 35.
and financially stability is important to her, that
Hmm.
she get with a man that's around 35.
I mean, that makes sense because he's gonna be I mean, at 35, I think he's gonna be very financially stable. But 21-year-old with a 35-year-old man, I don't know. I think 30 is the max. I think 30 is the max you should go. 35, yeah, you're gonna be very financially stable, but that's a lot older. That's like 15 years older than you. That's wild. But I bet you there's a lot of 21-year-olds out here who's getting with older men. You feel me? And so if you young right now, just know that you have options all the way up until your like 30s, 40s, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I
But
was gonna ask you what do you feel? What do you feel like as an older man?
yeah, for a 21-year-old, 35 is an older man. But then
Yeah, I agree.
it depends on the mentality of the woman at 21, because most 35-year-old men cannot seriously date and marry 21-year-old
Yeah, I was
girls.
about to say that. I don't know if she's
Yeah,
mentally in the
yeah,
space to where I would even be able to entertain
right.
something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
So
that
that's why I said
that's
there
interesting.
has to be like, in a lot of Indian culture, the girls get married at 18. But
Yep.
her mama literally
Yeah, I could see a 25-year-old girl with a 35-year-old man, but a 21-year-old, I feel like she would be too immature at that age to really take it seriously. But a 25-year-old woman, I could see a 25-year-old woman marrying a 35 and them taking it seriously and going long term.
lives with them and hovers over the relationship and guides them day by day throughout. But you cannot just take black people, especially with our history and what we're going through. You can't just take two 20-year-old, 21-year-old black people and tell them get married. That is literally a nightmare. A nightmare. So if a girl is 21, decide what you want, and then you got to be ready. I think women just have to have more prior planning when they get with a man. I think a
Hmm.
lot of times women they jump in and they don't think ahead of time. They don't go into it with their own intention. So then they end up kind of just ending up in la la land and ending up in bad situations. You have
Mm,
to know what you want. And if you don't know what you want, just be by yourself, focus on, getting your money. And if the man come and check for you, because as a woman, you don't know when it's time for your guy.
Yeah.
Because when your guy come, he's coming and he's gonna come hard and he's coming for you and he's not gonna let up. So as a woman, you can't really say, "Oh, I don't want a relationship right now." If at 21 your guy shows up, then he showed up. Great. If he don't, that's fine too. You got plenty of time.
Yep. I'm gonna bring you into my world with a question, with a couple questions. All right. So
Okay.
one of the things that I like to say that people have a very difficult time, and I mean most of the time is women, but they have an incredibly difficult time with this. What I'm about to say is, I always say that marriage is a business first,
Mm.
and that um, I never led with love. Now that doesn't mean that I don't love my wife, right? And it don't mean that love is not important, but that was not the foundation of our relationship. A foundation of our relationship was other things. It was friendship. It was spirituality. It was a lot of other things. But I go back to the idea that I always look at everything from a business perspective, right? When I look at my marriage, I understand that it's over 1,100 benefits that come along with being married from a financial perspective, right? But people have a very hard time when I say that I look at marriage from a business perspective. What are
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts when you hear me say that I look at marriage from a business perspective more so than I look at it from a love perspective?
Well, I mean, you look at it from a business perspective.
I mean, you're a businessman, so of course you would look at it from a business perspective. If someone's not really a business person, or they're not like that's not their, you know, that's not their forte, it's not really what they care about or what they focus on, then they probably not gonna look at it too much from the business side. They're just gonna focus on the love, and I feel like that's why women, there's a lot of girls who don't look at it from the business side because they're looking at it from the love side, and so they don't really care about the business side. You feel me? But you're a businessman, so it's different.
Explains why you're still married. Explains why you've been married for 17 years. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Certain things don't require explanation. You've been married 17 years, and here you are. You're right here in the flesh. I mean, that shows, and it has been proven. Even arranged marriages last more than love marriages. Business marriages last more. Why? Because when you are arranged, you're organized. When you have business, you have prosperity. So with organization, with prosperity comes love. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you're gonna love somebody when you getting through life peacefully, efficiently, productively. You know what I'm saying? Of course. What is there not to love? But I believe that we have to kind of go through a reprogramming. I think that we are just not taught what marriage is really for. The only thing that we are taught about marriage is when it goes wrong. And that's also many of us have seen, and we say, and we talk about don't get married, and we forget the point that it's not about don't get married. Most of these people that are talking badly about marriage never should have got married in the first place. It was 10,000 red flags in the beginning of why this was not the person to marry. You got married for all. I've never seen a group of people get married for so many of the wrong reasons and then turn around and say don't get married. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? How it's so many people that be like, man, don't get married. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. It's not all it's cracked up to be. And it's like, you not even married. You know what I'm saying? You giving half-ass in your marriage, telling other people don't get married. You're not even doing it. You know? So what I mean by we have to stop internalizing other people's failures and making it be our own.
It's not yours.
It's
half not
of black
your
people
failure.
Have never been married.
You didn't fail
half
yet,
of black
so
people, but then more than half of
don't
black
listen
people
to these people
are going around saying don't get married. How do you know? You never even been married before. And I think that if we did start to view,
you know, you gotta base your marriage on good foundation. You feel me? If you see red flags, then you know don't don't go forward with it. But moral of the story is you're gonna see signs before like you actually get there. For everything you do, you'll see signs if it's the right move or if it's the wrong move. If it's the wrong move, you're gonna see it somewhere in there, somewhere during the process. You're gonna see it, whether it's before or after. You feel me? And then you're gonna have to decide which your next move is. Same thing with marriage. You know, you had to date this girl. You had to be around her for a good amount of time. You had to get to know her. You're gonna see signs whether it's it's the right move or it's the wrong move. Whether you see the signs before or you see it after, it all depends. But like you're gonna see it.
Marriage in more of what it's for. We have more marriages, number one, and we have more lasting marriages. We truly believe that you marry someone because you love them. Like we really think that. Like we're not thinking about who can I get with that we're going to be able to navigate through this life efficiently as possible. We don't think like that. And if you get married because of love is an emotion that's kind of up and down. So then they wonder why they're getting divorced. Tomorrow. I hate when people get divorced for this stupid ass reason. Irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. I don't even know what that means.
What do you mean? what is irreconcilable? Why? Because you got married off of emotions you felt. You did not marry the person that you could navigate through life.
Facts. You gotta marry someone who you can get through life with, not someone who you think you like. Don't marry off of love. Love is a fleeting emotion. Marry someone who's doing something. You feel me? Who's doing something and you like what they're doing, and you see that they have a level head and they can get through life. They can get through life. If you could get through life with someone, that's all that matters. You feel me? That's all that matters. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about this. This is a good video. That's why I'm reacting to it.